Don't buy a home in 2026 before you watch this, because the climate has changed. This isn't the frenzy of 2021. It's not the rise and fall of 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. It's 2026. And it's a little bit different. And if you buy the wrong way this year, you can easily overpay, misleverage, or lock yourself into bad long-term decisions. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 practical tips that every buyer should know before making a move this year. And number 1, we have analyze the listing, not just the price. By now, I'm assuming that you've been pre-approved, you spoke to a mortgage broker, and you've connected with a realtor that you click with. If not, go back and do those first. Then, once a property catches your eye, don't just rely on what you see on realtor.ca. Have your agent really take a look at the listing. A lot of people may not realize that the public front-facing listing is just a highlight reel. There's a lot more information on the back end that as a realtor I can see, including the history, the days on market, any realtor remarks that aren't showing up on realtor.ca, as well as older photos from older listings that may tell a story that you may not see. There also could be seller disclosures attached to a listing, and those may include previous issues with the property, insurance claims, repairs. There's a number of things that could be there. It'll also show any rental items that you'll need to assume. That could sometimes include a furnace, air conditioner, water system, whereas you may have only expected it to be a hot water tank. There also may be signals to motivation and closing dates, and if you can meet that closing date, that sometimes can have a bigger impact than price, especially in a market where renewals are coming up and some people may be desperate to get out of their home. I'll also be able to see if there's been previous offers made on the property that fell through. We can get more information as to why those might have fallen through, whether it was an inspection or if it was just financing that the previous buyer couldn't fulfill. In this market, information is leverage. Before you make a decision about price or what to offer, make sure you have all the information and you understand what you're buying. Number 2 on my list is to speak with the listing agent, or rather have your agent speak with the listing agent. This is literally one of the simplest but most underrated steps that can be taken. I've definitely had a realtor not even reach out to me, not tell me, not talk to me, and they just send in an offer via email and expect that my seller is just going to respond in kind without any conversation. They're really not doing their client as a buyer the most service they could either, because there's so much information that you can garner from a simple conversation with the listing agent. Is the seller motivated, or are they just testing the waters? Have they received or turned down any offers yet? Are there any tenant issues or timing pressures? And what actually matters to the seller? Is it price, or is it something like closing, like I mentioned? In this market, deals aren't always won by just the highest offer. They're won by being the most aligned with the seller's expectations and needs. Number 3, don't get hung up on list price. This one trips a lot of buyers up, and in a very different way than it may have just a few years ago. Previously, you might look at a list price and say, oh man, I wonder what it'll actually sell for. It's going to go over that. Now you look at a list price and say, I wonder how much it'll sell for, because it'll probably sell under that. Pricing, if done properly, isn't necessarily market value. It's a strategy. Some homes are still priced low to generate interest, but they're probably not going to get the outcome that they're hoping for. Others are priced aspirationally, hoping to get the perfect buyer to come along, but good luck with that. And some are priced correctly, but unless they're a move-in ready, top-notch property that most buyers want, you may still sit on the market. So all this means we're going to anchor an offer based on most recent comparable sales. And those only go back so far in this market. You used to be able to use 3 months or more to gather a bunch of comparable information. Not any longer. The way things are trending, they're going downwards. So if you're going back 4 or 5 months for a comparable, the selling price now is probably fairly different. Also, understanding the number of days on market can really have an impact, as well as watching for price reductions and relisting. All of these things can help you read into the seller's motivation. And I've mentioned this, patience is important in this market. But that being said, the right homes will still sell. So if you do like something, it's important to take action towards that right away and not let somebody else come along and do that. Because being in competition in this market is the last thing you want to do. Just remember to ignore the noise and follow the data. Number 4, always do a final walkthrough. This sounds obvious, I know, but doesn't happen that often. Especially when longer closings are common, a lot can happen between the time you have a firm offer and actual closing date. Especially when some sellers may be stretched, you might see deferred maintenance in that time. A final walkthrough protects you from missing or not working appliances, any new damage that can occur since having a firm offer, or systems that suddenly stop working. Because once you take possession, it's your problem, not theirs. A 15-minute walkthrough where you test everything can go a long way. And number 5 is don't give up. Even in a market where there's growing inventory, sometimes it takes a while for you to find the property that's right for you. So have patience and stick with it. Remember why you started this in the first place. And on top of that, don't get worried if an offer doesn't work out. There's always another one. And my job while helping you is to make sure you're happy with your decision, not just on closing day, but 5 years down the road. If this was helpful, drop a comment below for other buyers to let them know on any tips that you might have for them.